What's up, QAA listeners?
The fun games have begun.
I found a way to connect to the internet. I'm sorry, boy. Welcome, listener, to Premium Chapter 192 of the QAnon Anonymous podcast, the Reptilians episode. As always, we are your hosts, Jake Rockatansky,
Julian Field,
and Travis View.
Hello, listeners. Today we're going to be diving into the Reptilian segment that one Travis View wrote for us and for this tour. So we cannot wait to share that with you. Tour almost killed us.
I know. I feel bad that I played that pup, if this tour doesn't kill you, I will song to you guys over and over again.
You were tempting fate.
And then it actually,
you literally summoned a blizzard like some sort of ancient Celtic.
I also probably said too many times on tour that I don't even want to be around anymore, which manifested in the form of the 3 blizzards.
That tried to erase us like they were whiteout.
Erase us like they erased a 16-ton car carrier.
They tried to redact
truck.
Jake with whiteout. They tried to get him, folks. But we survived, and we all took turns. We all took our turns driving through those horrible blizzards, which I guarantee you we could have died in. There was an entire car carrier just essentially snowed in because it had gone off the road moments before.
Yeah.
Julian, with all the cars in it still. Insane.
Julian, as
multiple
we passed
flipped cars and just cars off the side of the road.
As we passed this car carrier, Julian was like, "It looks like it's been there for 200 years,"
and it might have. In terms of
but I also found that very funny.
It did have a very Last of Us kind of feel as we witnessed the remnants of vehicles that were once on the road just sort of tilted into the sides of ditches long abandoned.
Yeah, vehicles that had passed us 5 minutes prior, we would be like, "Oh, there goes another Braves. There goes another one for the ditch." And then sure enough, 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, we would drive by it and it'd skid it off. And it was in the middle of the ditch in the center of the freeway.
And honestly, I got to say, shout out to the Canadian border guard who treated us, I think, like an armor that's helping someone get ready for a suicide mission. Combined with just bullying us a little bit and making fun of us for being totally unprepared and clearly just rubes.
Mostly making fun of me for having my passport in the back of the van.
Yeah, so just fucking it up that bad, that if you are carrying drugs, this would be a fatal mistake or something. So just laughing at how inept we are if we were in any way trying to get away with something bad.
Yes.
And then just kind of waving us through because he was just just get out of my sight. Yeah. Just get out of my sight. I don't want to deal with you.
The only thing really working for us, is the fact that we are adorable dorks who weren't up to anything bad. But the funniest part of all of this,
some people call us try guys.
Funniest part of all this is that the entire time I was berating Julian about crossing the border, we can't have any nonsense in the car, all this stuff. And then we find out later that Travis View, our very own Travis View,
I don't know if you should admit to a crime. In the name of Travis View on the podcast.
Well, Travis View isn't a real name,
let's just leave it at that. He committed a crime, folks, okay? He was the criminal, and then I was the prepared one, and Jake was the not prepared one. All his fears came true,
all my fears came true
in me, because he had focused on me, and he was victimizing me, and a lot of people don't see that's the real relationship, is I'm kind of being bullied here.
Yeah, and I hadn't seen my own follies. Yeah, I was blinded to them, so it all worked out, though, and
we survived.
We're back.
We're back.
We're here to present to those of you who couldn't join us in person. Yeah. And thank you to everybody who did. It was great meeting all of you.
It's the album version. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, this is the album version of the live show.
Can't wait to share that with everybody. And hey, while we're here, why not mention that Kanye West said, there's a lot of things I love about Hitler and Hitler rules.
It wasn't even, dude. You're underselling it.
You're dipsuit.
I watched some of the clips, and Kanye was like, "There's a lot that I love about Hitler."
That's our last auto cue for the last episode. And it's just so crazy. A lot. And he keeps drawing it out. And it's God, man.
Oh, my
As Alex Jones
God.
is trying to help him talk about Hugo Boss instead. He's like, no, I get it. The tailoring. You're a designer. He's like, no, there's a lot. I love it.
I knew that we were in a bad place when there were people on the internet who seemed somewhat sympathetic to Alex Jones.
Dear God.
In that
welcome to the resistance, Alex Jones. Thank you for helping us.
Yes, thank you for helping us. Yes. You will be getting your Twitter account back, the billions of dollars in judgment arguments against you will be wiped.
Listen, we've evaluated your pushback as appropriate to, and so we're restoring your account, Alex. Welcome back to humanity. You just have to find someone worse than you and treat them with like a kind of. It was so funny how frustrated Alex was that Kanye wouldn't take off his gimp mask.
Of course.
I just wanted him to open the zippers over his eyes. That would have been very funny if he just opened those zippers and suddenly you just had like Kanye's eyes in there just floating in this weird outfit.
It would look like a reverse KKK hood, which is...
Hey, I mean, that's kind of where we're at, dude.
Yeah,
Let's
that's kind of where
that's
we're
kind
at.
of where Kanye's at. He's doing a kind of...
Oh, it's like the old... It's like that old Chappelle sketch of like the black white supremacist.
That's right. Exactly. Except like for real, it's serious.
For real, and
not
just
around.
like some random
and
guy
having a clear, I mean, just beyond obvious like mental health and possibly drug crisis. Like it's kind of like a much worse version of what was happening with Charlie Sheen, basically.
Yes,
Remember
yes,
how fucked up that was, that whole phase?
But Charlie Sheen, I mean, Charlie Sheen looks. I can't even remember one thing Charlie Sheen said after this, other than like Tiger Blood or whatever.
Kanye should get Charlie Sheen on his PR team. he should hire him and any of the porn stars he's currently living with.
The last thing I'll say about it before we jump into the segment, and I'm sure it's relevant because I'm sure at this point Kanye believes that a race of reptilian aliens have infiltrated.
It's true. He hasn't talked
world.
much about the reptilians. Kanye, let's give you another arrow for your quiver, is what Jake's saying. If you want to listen to this episode, you could make your meltdown more reptilian themed, like we did with our tour.
I don't think.
Think about it.
I don't think Kanye is going to be listening to.
He's
this
also going to be the guest for our next
premium
tour,
episode,
which, in Jake's words, backstage at one of the last few nights was, it'll never happen again. We are never doing this again. So
that's why I'm so grateful to everybody who came out, got to meet y'all.
We love
that's
you so
great.
much. Never again. It was horrible. We almost died out there. Yeah, every moment meeting you was pleasure.
That was the best part
Intimate,
for me.
even.
That was the best part, meeting everybody. Meeting a lot of our mods for the first time. That was a fucking blast. A lot of good stuff.
I poisoned a lot of people with food that I brought on purpose.
You poisoned.
It was poisoned with like some kind of ancient Italian 1800s style poison.
I ordered White Castle at 3 a.m. Anyways, the last thing I will say about this Kanye stuff before we can jump into the reptilians is so I was getting my Spotify Wrapped or whatever thing, and one of the songs that I had listened to a lot before, I wouldn't do it again, I wouldn't do it after this point, but was this song New Again, which was off Donda, Kanye's like last album, and the whole song, the whole chorus of the song is like, make me new again, and he's just saying that over and over again, and listening, because they play a little snippet on Spotify when it comes up, it's like, these are the songs, when I listened to that, it felt like a fucking horror movie, like based on like what I had just witnessed him do. It was like, if you chilling, it chilled me to the bone.
I feel like everyone now will be listening to Kanye different. Obviously, kind of talking about being a Kanye fan, not awesome anymore, that's for sure.
His next album is literally going to be like, Hitler was right, and the album's going to be a big swastika, and it'll be like, he's like, yeah, but so-and-so from Gucci designed the swastika, and,
right.
I mean, at this point...
What's next?
At this point, where else can he go?
It's bad, and he needs help, and he's not getting it, and he's fucking adult, and he is destroying his life and the lives of other people and making the country a worse place every day. And welcome to our political class, Kanye. You have joined the esteemed ranks of every other fucking politician in terms of just making everything worse every day. So I guess we should move on. Thanks everybody who came out on tour. You were really such sweeties. All the different cities were so cool to visit, and just to be able to see the faces, meet the people. It was just great. A great experience for me. And Travis, obviously, like he's barely paying attention right now. Like he has very few emotions related to this journey we went on, but I'll speak for him and say thank you, because the voice for the voiceless, I
think Travis has a lot to say.
Yeah, it was a really remarkably fun time. I was able to, meet a lot of people who, enjoy the podcast, which is, great. A story I heard often over and over again was people who talked about how they had someone who was close to them, usually a family member, who was very, pilled and down the rabbit hole and sort of like, based their entire sort of existence around these kinds of conspiracy theories. And you talked about how, the podcast sort of helped you sort of understand their world and sort of able to sort of form a kind of like common ground, or at least common understanding of at least what the hell they're trying to get at and why they're like this. So that was really, really nice. And I gotta say, I would it's very, very, it is unusual that so many people like what I do, because I didn't really expect it, but I'm very grateful for it.
All right, well, we're gonna need a fact check on that people like what Travis does. So, but other than that, obviously, I approve everything you said, and it was correct. In fact, it's your turn, because we are about to jump into your segment about reptilians.
Reptilians.
So this is actually kind of like, I guess, a modified version of what I presented on the tour, because what I was able to do for the tour that I have never been able to do for the podcast is add in sort of visual elements. Sort of, I have a few clips, and some of them don't really translate to just being played entirely over audio. But so I wanted to research reptilians, and specifically this is the conspiracists claim that the hidden rulers of our world are an alien race of shape-shifting lizard people. So the story goes, in our natural form, these monstrous beings have human-like bodies covered in scales and snake-like heads. However, they can transform their appearance so that they look fully human. Using these abilities, they have wormed their way into the highest levels of power. They walk amongst us and pull the strings of society unbeknownst to the sleeping, blue-pilled masses. In many tellings of this tale, the lizard people are actually aliens from a planet in the constellation Draco, or perhaps beings from another dimension entirely. The most famous proponent of these theories is the British conspiracy theorist David Icke. So he is a man, I'm sure you're familiar with Icke. He's a man who started his career as a professional soccer player, but that was cut short due to arthritis. So he switched careers to journalism before finally finding worldwide fame as a conspiracist who mixes New Age beliefs with New World Order conspiracy theories. According to Icke, an interdimensional race of reptilian beings, possibly the Anunnaki, have hijacked the Earth. This evil shape-shifting race causes horrible events to happen so that they can't feed off the resulting negative energy. He explained this theory in his film The Reptilian Agenda.
You have been listening to a sample of a premium episode of QAnon Anonymous.
We don't run any advertising on the show, and we'd like to keep it that way.
For $5 a month, you'll get access to this episode, a new one each week, and our entire library of premium episodes.
So head on over to patreon.com/QAnon Anonymous and subscribe.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I love you.
Jake loves you.